Stapping that shit. Not good enough. Not good enough. No, off. No. How many times are you going to apologise? How many apologies?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are we all feeling? Luton Town. Luton Town. As you saw by the video at the start, some fans not happy at all. And why should they be happy? They lost 5-1. Fair play to the lad. Took some accountability. Well done. But it opens up the discussion of what's next. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to delve into everything from both sides of the argument because we have to play it fair. But yeah, let's get straight into this. Let's give you the cold, hard facts. If people don't like it, they don't like it. Goal difference above the relegation zone when you've just come down from the Premier League. 15 points from this whole season so far. Rob Edwards. Let's talk about Rob Edwards first of all. Great man. Good manager. And I think I saw something back in May, I think it was when they got relegated from the Prem, where he said he would still be the Luton Town manager until the club supporters believe otherwise. I'm paraphrasing this, something around that mark. But I mean, when some of the fans, not all of them, but some of them, are reacting like that after the season they've had so far, you know there's things to work on. Now, I've not seen Rob Edwards speak about the reaction yet. I've not seen anything he's said, which might add some more context into this video. But, like I say, he's a good man, good manager, really nice guy. Start with the personal stuff. Wonderful, nice guy. As a manager, he is a good manager. He got him into the Prem, for God's sake, so obviously he's a good manager. But it's like Coventry City with Mark Robins. I feel like this is a situation like Mark Robins at Coventry City. If Rob Edwards goes, there will be a huge reaction from the fans. And not in a nice way either. The fans will question the club why you've done it. And I'm not saying we're going to speak on behalf of Luton fans, because I'm not a Luton fan. But what I am saying is you can understand the frustration. You've just lost 5-1. People are happy. I'm happy for people to support their football club in any way they want to, whether it's clapping, whether it's that wasn't good enough. If the abuse goes above a certain line, never agree with that. If the abuse goes over a certain personal level, never agree with that. Never, ever agree with that. And this brings me nicely, and I know it's not Luton Town, but this brings me nicely to the stuff involving Faz and Garnacho. All Faz talked about was a part of his game that he needs to improve on, and he does need to improve on it. But Garnacho wasn't really happy about that, was he? No offence to Garnacho. No offence to Alejandro Garnacho. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But if a fan is trying to help you, yes, you might be signing a young kid's poster or a t-shirt or a sign or whatever, doing your usual, things you have to do for the PR and, everything like that, or being nice. But when a fan is giving you open, honest, constructive criticism either way, whether it's constructive or not. When someone's giving you criticism, as an elite level footballer on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, you listen, you take it on board, and you say, okay, thank you. You might not like what he said, but you can still be nice about it and just say, okay, thank you very much, and then just walk. He didn't even need to respond in the way that he did to Faz. All he needed to say was, all right, cheers, or just cheers. And then at least he's acknowledged it. He might not listen to it, but at least acknowledged it. He didn't. He just gave an angry response, then walked off. And you wonder why Faz said, did you hear what, did I just hear that? Or did he hear what he said? And then you got ex-pros coming out and people in the mainstream saying Faz is in the wrong. Saying, oh, Garnacho's the top scorer at United. Yes, Garnacho's the top scorer at United. Why? Because United have had an average season at best. And I will call that out. But back to Luton Town and back to what this guy, to what these fans did. Like I said, if the abuse was anything personal, I'd have condemned them straight away. But it wasn't personal, was it? All they did was call that performance out and said it weren't good enough. And it wasn't good enough. I watched the highlights back. It wasn't good enough. When that video broke on the internet, I went and watched the highlights of that Luton game against Middlesbrough. And they were right to call that out. Love the manager or hate the manager. Got to call that performance out. Got to keep the standards up. And you can't let the standards fall. The club is near the relegation. It's goal difference above the relegation zone. They are 15 points into the season. Out of how many games? I don't think they've achieved even half the amount of points available at the minute so far. And they're in relegation. They're in a relegation zone, nearly. Goal difference is keeping them up at this early stage towards the Christmas period. And I think some accountability does need to come into effect. And I think the manager will know that. I think the players definitely know that. All this fan is doing is just calling it out as he sees it. If people disagree with it, then fair enough. You can disagree with it, but be respectful of your disagreements. He's got a right to share his opinion after the game. He's not doing it during the game. He's doing it after the game. And if you want me to be brutally honest, I kind of agree with him. I actually kind of agree with him. Maybe I wouldn't have said it. Maybe I personally wouldn't have said it in that way. I would have probably, if that was Doncaster Rovers and we lost 5-6-0, for example, at full time, I wouldn't have clapped that. I certainly wouldn't have booed that. I would have said, lads, you know that weren't good enough. Get your heads up and deliver on the response. Instant response needed. Obviously, I would have come out afterwards and said that was a shambolic performance and we deserved to get beat. And I'd have come out saying that weren't good enough. The players know that. The manager knows that. Difference is, I know if we've come out and had a rubbish performance because our manager will come out and say that. We lost 1-0 to Dark Arts Bromley and the manager came out and said that weren't good enough. The players weren't good enough. It was a disgrace. And we came out afterwards, after that result, and beat our Yorkshire rivals Bradford 2-1 at their place. That's a response. That is a response. That's how you respond to the fans who call that performance out. Now, what Luton need to do, what the players, what the manager needs to do, is come out in the next game and deliver. From a Luton perspective, they need to deliver. And the fans will know that anyway. I don't need to scream it from the rooftops. The fans know that regardless. But the fans should be allowed to share their opinion as long as it's not personal abuse. As long as it's not personal abuse, as long as it's not stepping over a mark that's deemed unfit for society, they've got the right to share their opinion. It's no good saying, oh, just back them. Just back them. Would you back them if they lost 10-0? No, you come out and say that weren't good enough. Instant response needed. And what Luton need to do is deliver an instant response. That's my view on the situation. That will always be my view on this situation. Deliver an instant response. And then maybe, just maybe, the fans will be all right. For me, that's the way it goes. Anyone calling this fan out, fair enough, you've got your opinion. Fair enough. If you don't think he handled that in the right way, fair enough, respect your opinion. Well done to that fan for having some accountability, first of all. And secondly, having the balls to call it out as he did in person in front of everyone. Because it can take a lot for people to do that. Would you back him if they lost 10-0? No, you come out and say that weren't good enough. Instant response needed. And what Luton need to do is deliver an instant response. That's my view on the situation. That will always be my view on this situation. Deliver an instant response, and then maybe, just maybe, the fans will be all right. For me, that's the way it goes. Anyone calling this fan out, fair enough, you've got your opinion. Fair enough. If you don't think he handled that in the right way, fair enough, respect your opinion. Well done to that fan for having some accountability, first of all, and secondly, having the balls to call it out as he did in person in front of everyone, because it can take a lot for people to do that. To have the balls to actually come out and not be afraid to call it out in front of people that wouldn't have agreed with that, or the way he dealt with that. So I give him respect for the way he had the balls to do it anyway, and I respect the fact that he has accountability. Would I have said some of the things that he said on camera? Probably not. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't. But I respect the fact he has accountability for his football club. And you've got to respect that. You've got to respect that. It doesn't matter how much the manager's done for the club. You've got to respect the fact he has accountability. It isn't a PR positive fest all the time. You've got to call things out when need be. And I'm sure other people will call it out when need be. Other people will call out the performance in a different way and say that weren't good enough. But what Luton needs to do now is deliver an instant response. That's my view on the situation. What do you think? Comment down below. If you think I'm right, comment down below. If you think I'm wrong, comment down below as well. Be respectful, obviously. Let's keep it a positive community in terms of the respectfulness. No abuse, please. If you don't agree with it, that's fair enough. If you do agree with it, then thank you. But in all seriousness, comment down below. Let's create an open discussion, a respectful, open discussion within the football community. I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now. That's full time.
Right foot to copy!